Might wanna buckle up, baby.
Punch it, I'm Jacob, and welcome back to That's Just Crait, the show where we talk about everything that we think is great about Star Wars. It's been a while since we've been able to sit down and record a podcast together, so I want to start by saying it's nice just to have everybody back together again. I know that life for all of us has been hectic lately, in one way or another. I know I was moving, which I think I talked about in the previous episode, and I know that just kind of for everybody, we've all had a lot going on, which is why we haven't really been able to sit down and record. But having us all back together now, it just feels right. So I'm really glad to be here with all you guys today to talk about Star Wars again.
It feels good to be back.
Yay.
Happy to be
I
here.
missed this.
I know. I miss my little friends.
Honestly, I missed it too. I
Andor
was like,
came and
man,
went,
like,
and
I
so
just
did
need
we.
to talk to... Exactly. But you know what, Logan? I guess you could say that somehow
No.
the podcast has returned.
No.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
I knew it. I was
If
gonna
I
try
don't
to
make
cut you off
this
at the
joke,
source.
you did,
Yeah.
but like you set me up for it perfectly,
Yeah.
dude. Like I was like right there. If I
Guys,
didn't make the joke, people would
Jacob
be like,
actually
you
didn't
know,
move. He just wanted us on like a 4-week hiatus so he can make this joke. I don't know.
Yeah,
what else
okay.
to
Got
tell
it. me
It's-
4K.
That might be the worst joke of all time.
you. Alrighty.
I
What do we
think
got
that I've
today,
just
Jacob?
made it the worst joke of all time by saying it so much. But if I didn't say it, the one time I don't say it, someone's going to comment like, "Oh, Jacob didn't say the joke." But all of that aside, all jokes aside, we're back now. We're excited to talk about Star Wars, and we are going to call this the start of Season 2. Season 1, if you missed an episode and you want to listen to it, they're all on Spotify. But as you can probably tell if you're watching on YouTube now, the podcast has somehow returned to YouTube as well.
Oh, two
So
for
we are
one.
back
Oh,
on
a double
YouTube.
whammy.
Damn! In
Oh my
a
God,
single
look at
minute.
This is getting out of
Insane.
hand. Now there are
No!
two.
No!
Oh my
I could
god.
go all
do it.
day.
I'm
I could
quitting
go
this
all
podcast.
day.
I'm quitting this podcast.
But so you heard it here first. This is Logan's farewell episode. But all jokes aside again, if you want to listen to any episode from season 1, they're all on Spotify, but we're back on YouTube and Spotify as well. So we're going to be uploading on both from now on. I know that whenever we made the jump just to Spotify, we had a few people in the comments who were kind of bummed about it. And they were like, well, man, like I listened to stuff on YouTube and I had my headphones in and now I can't because I don't have Spotify. And the more I thought about it and the more we kind of discussed it, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like collectively we were all kind of like, yeah, we need to kind of bring it back to YouTube and get that wider audience
roots.
again.
Yeah.
But I call this season 2, but I feel like all of the seasons are going to kind of be like their own thing because they're all kind of us just talking about Star Wars, which I guess kind of leads us to start talking about Star Wars. So I'm going to pass the mic
Amazing
from me.
segue.
You know what?
very
I
good.
try. You know, it's either a bad pun or a good segue. I can only get one. But sometimes I get lucky and get both, you know? But I guess I'm going to pass the mic to somebody else before I start to talk about what I've been engaging with. But now we're going to be talking about what we've been, I guess, engaging with in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've said that like 6 times now. So, Hannah, how have you been staying on target?
Hello. It's been a little rough the past few weeks because I've had a lot going on. But if you have been following me closely, you would know that a few weeks ago, vacation with my family out west, and I took every opportunity possible to make it about Star Wars.
Literally.
Every
post has, like,
place
the
we
music.
went, I was like, okay, this is this planet. And it literally drove my family insane, but I could not have cared less
I don't blame
because
them.
it was enjoyable to me. And hearing their groans every time I said something just made me laugh. Plus, one of my favorite moments was one of the first days on our trip. We did a very short hike to go see Horseshoe Bend, which is cool. And we were leaving, and we got stuck behind these people who were like all marching in step. And my dad made a funny comment to them about it, and they were like, "Oh, y'all are marching like some stormtroopers." And this guy had a Bluetooth speaker, and he started playing the Imperial March and March of the Resistance. And I was like, "Oh my God, y'all are my kind of people." And he was like, "Okay, well,
Yeah.
come on, march with us." And it was so funny. Oh, I loved that. That like
So you made the trip
was a
about
highlight
Star
of
Wars until the trip
Yes.
just became Star Wars.
Yeah.
basically that was one of the highlights of the trip. And I was also channeling my
Can't
inner
escape.
Cal Kestis on Kobo. And
Yeah,
then
you need a BD1 with you.
Yeah.
then on the plane ride home, I finally started reading Dark Disciple.
Nice.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
One of my favorites.
I didn't have a chance to read any more of it. I read like a couple chapters, and then I watched a movie. And then I didn't read more of it until, was it like a week ago or so, that we had an 8-hour power outage. So then I have read some more. And then I read a lot last night, and I'm almost halfway through the book. So I really haven't been super into, like, I can't read like Jacob does, y'all. He can
Yeah.
read the whole book in
No,
one day, and
it's
I
kind
read
of
a bunch.
Absurd.
But I always, the only
Listen,
time I ever have to read
it's
is
a
like at
blessing
night,
and a
so then I
curse.
get tired. Yeah.
I still never
But
finished
I,
Mask of Fear.
oh my God, Logan,
What?
you need to
I
finish
know.
it.
I'm sorry. We'll get that
Logan.
episode done eventually.
What?
I'm just.
What the
Logan's
freak?
out here slacking. That's crazy.
Oh, I've been slacking like it's no one's business.
Hannah, what do you think of Dark
Gosh.
Disciple? Ugh, I can't talk. Dark Disciple so far.
What do I think
Literally,
of Dark
Dark Disciple.
I love it. I'm eating it up. Like I
Are you
knew
gonna rewatch
Yes.
Tales of the Underworld after?
I feel like I have to. That and her episodes in The Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I always kind of knew what Dark Disciple was about, and I know what happens at the end. But now that I'm like consuming it myself, I don't know. Like it's just like, oh, I love it. I feel like I'm reading a fanfic at some points, like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's such a good
But, oh
story.
my God, I
went
love-
into it.
I love Quinlan and Ventress.
Guys, she's just flipping through the book right now. Her teeth are like seething, like looking at these pages. It's so funny.
I love them so much.
Heck yeah.
It's such a good
Oh.
story. Honestly, I went into
I just
it
know
blind.
it's gonna hurt so bad at the end, and then it's gonna hurt so bad again when I watch Tales of the Underworld.
I'm just gonna say my lips are sealed, but you're not ready.
No.
I'm not ready.
Yeah. How fun.
Not.
I'd have
at
this
all.
thing
Prepare
where
yourself.
the doomed couples always kill me.
You should watch.
Not to make this
Andor.
about Arcane.
You should
I
watch
was
La
about-
La
yeah.
Land.
Oh yeah, you need to watch La La Land.
I
Guys, Hannah hasn't
should.
seen La La Land. Can you believe
I've
it?
never seen La La Land. I'm sorry.
Everybody in the comments scold her.
Everybody's
So
seen
sad.
her. Boo. Boo.
If-
Logan, what about you?
10
Where are you at in
people,
your...
if 10
Oh.
people yell at me, I'll watch it.
We got 4 here.
Okay. Am I doing it now? My turn?
Yes, go.
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt Hannah.
Yeah, no,
are you
Hannah,
done?
are you done?
I am done.
You sure? Okay.
Cool.
That's all.
Yeah, so I've been lacking like a nerf herder lately. Last time we
Solid.
checked in, I had just finished, I think, episode 4. No, yeah. Or I just like
That
watched
was-
Rogue One or something like that. Anyways, I started the original trilogy. I went into episode 4 and 5. And I watched that, but I was kind of sad because when I was watching episode 5, I was a little tired, so I wasn't consuming it like consciously at some points, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to be paying attention. But it was really cool seeing moments like, you know, obviously like Rogue 2 and like Rogue Squadron in general, like understanding like where that comes from and stuff. And then seeing Yoda again for the first time since Rebels, I think was the last time we actually saw him in the timeline, was very cool, and also seeing the Dark Side Cave and everything like that. And then after watching episode 5, there was a couple little shorts for Forces of Destiny. Notably the one that canonizes the oh my gosh, the deleted scene where the Wampa is in the Echo base. Because that the Forces of Destiny episode is about a Wampa being loose in the base, and then Leia, Chewbacca,
Oh, you're
and
right.
R2 trap it in the door, and then they put a
I
sign
forgot
over it.
about that.
And then
I
there's a
forgot
deleted
about
scene
that
Yeah.
when the Empire is raiding Echo Base that, you know, 3PO's running, and then he tears off the sign of like the "Do Not Enter" thing. And
Isn't
then
there
the
something
snowtroopers
about
open it,
that
and then they
in the
rip it
Lego game
in.
too?
I think in Battlefront. I think it might have been Battlefront 2015.
Was it
is the guy
Battlefront?
something.
Okay, I can't remember.
I think
I
it
just know it
was.
was
Yeah,
in some video
I
game.
think
Why did I
I think it was like a thing where it's like you can like if you go to like the door you can kind of hear it roaring. I
Okay.
think that's what I remember it being. But yeah, so I did that and then I immediately jumped into Star Wars Outlaws, and I'm
Woohoo!
playing it at Hannah's pace. It feels like.
Hey,
Because I started it like 2 weeks ago, and
Dang.
I'm barely off to Shara and in Kajimi right now. When I think
had a
when I
very
first
valid
booted up the game, I
reason.
finished it in 3 days. But yeah, some really cool things. Obviously, they talk about how the Empire like lost the Death Star, and now the Empire is not really worried about the crime syndicates, so they're allowed to like rise up and do all of their business. Meanwhile, the Empire is focusing on the rebellion. And there's a lot of cool like moments in that game so far. I've noticed. There's been like really cool planets that are mentioned that I literally can't think of off the top of my head, which is really embarrassing. But yeah, so imagine I said something really cool right now. But that
wow,
is
what
where I'm
happened to
at.
you taking notes?
No way.
Yeah, no.
What?
It's hard to take notes when you're playing a video game. Okay, Hannah. Yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, Canto Bite. First time seeing that in canon. Hell yeah.
True.
Very
Very
cool
cool.
seeing the fathers and
Nice.
stuff. I always loved how Outlaws is really the culmination of all eras of Star Wars. I think better than most video games do
It really is.
because obviously it's set during the original trilogy, but you have so many sequel planets, and then you also have a whole lot of like Clone Wars, aftermath sort of references, especially with ND5 and all the Separatist
I was
stuff.
about to say Indy.
Yes. So we got
These
them
nuts.
again. Oh my god. So we got them.
I'm cutting that out.
Oh, this isn't even my
Oh.
thing. One of my favorite artists has started posting more KVS and ND5 fan
about to
art,
bring
and
that up.
that's been really good for me and Hannah, and also Mo.
Eating it up.
Eating it up like it's no one's business. But yeah, so that's been like my like consumption of Star Wars. I also took a trip to Disneyland recently.
You
must be
did.
On June 1st, by myself, and
Nice.
I don't know if anybody here kept up with my Twitter, but I managed to ride
I
Star
did.
Tours 10 times that day, and it was the most exhausting,
crazy.
grueling, but also like fun experience that I've ever had at the park. I also rode Rise of the Resistance twice and Smuggler's Run twice.
I didn't remember that
Dude,
part.
I just have to interrupt you to ask.
Yes.
How did you not get motion sick
Oh
on
no,
Star
I did.
Tours
I
10
absolutely
times?
did. So when I got to
Okay,
the park,
I was
that
about to say, if you didn't, you're like built
Yeah.
different. I don't know how you did it.
yeah, like the first like ride, I was like, "Woo, yay!" It was like 8 in the morning, whatever. And I went a second time, and then I was like, "Okay, cool, yeah." And then by the third time, I think I was just silent, just like looking at the screen, like, "Oh my god, like I can't." So then I would ride it in basically like 2 or 3 ride bursts, and then I have to take like an hour break basically between, because I just kept getting motion sick. Which it's really funny because I never get motion sick on that ride. It's only if I do it repeatedly. But yeah, it was really fun. I got Cassian
we-
Andor a few times.
Talk
Yes.
about the cast member that made your day.
I was getting there, yeah. So around like the 7th or 8th time, I was like, you know what? I have ridden this almost 10 times today. I need to stop at one point for my own health. So I told myself that I would stop once I get either Cassian again, because my mom really wanted a video. Oh, we've been watching Andor. That's why I've been lacking. I started watching Andor with my mom when I was on season 1.
So
she's been
for
really
a
like
really
that.
wholesome and valid excuse.
Yeah. I totally forgot I was doing that. Anyways, so she wanted me to record the casting transmission, so I was really trying to get it. But there was a cast member that started recognizing me, and then she would ask like what ride I was on, and I was like, oh, like, it's like my 5th time or whatever. And then she's like, oh my god, okay. And then like by round 8, I think she was like, so how long are you gonna do it today? Like what's your number that you're shooting for? And I said, I'm going until I can get like a sequel themed thing, because I hadn't the entire day. All I was getting was like, Ahsoka stuff, or, Tatooine, or Kashyyyk, or Hoth, or Coruscant, or anything. It is so hard to get a sequel planet on that ride for some reason.
It really is.
And I don't know how the ride system works. I think that it's random for the most part, but, cast members can choose it if they feel like it, because she asked me like the question, and I said I'm waiting until I get a sequel, and she was kind of like slyly being like, okay, like, well, we'll see what happens. And then you know how the Star Wars ride works. The first part is in the hangar, and it's Kylo Ren, and I'm like, oh my god, cool. And then like the Falcon's taking off, and it's the sequel Falcon, and there's a bunch of like resurgent class Star Destroyers and all that stuff. And then you jump into hyperspace, and then all of a sudden, I am in, Kef Bir from Episode 9. And I was like, oh my god, I did it. And then, the transmission happens, and it's Poe Dameron, and I was like, oh my god, it's him. Which I don't think I ever actually got Poe Dameron as a hologram. I think that might have been the first time. But he's a very fun one because he's like, it's his Last Jedi outfit, and like you could tell that they were doing them like during that movie. And he just has Last Jedi Poe's amount of sass. It's incredible. And then I got Exegol at the end, and then it landed on Batu.
Woo!
So that was a wonderful thing, and I
like...
really think the cast member like did that for me. And then I went in for a victory lap for round 9, and then it was just more original trilogy stuff, and I was like, oh my god. And then round 10,
No.
She saw me out. I was like 10 times, and I was like, this is like my last one. That ended up being all sequel stuff, but then instead of Poe as a transmission, it was Lando when he's like rallying everybody's Exegol. So it was a very fitting end, and I was like,
Funsies.
As much as I wanted to try another Cassian, I said that was a perfect bookend for it. But yeah, it was a really good day. Sorry that I'm rambling. I just realized that I had such a great day at Disney. Because I remember at one point my phone was dying, and I was in Galaxy's Edge just listening to the sounds. Because the thing about Galaxy's Edge that is different from like a lot of the park is that there's no actual music in that area. It's just the ambiance of like the ships and stuff, and that was like really what I needed.
Love.
Yeah, because I remember I was like having a really stressful day before, and then I was like, okay, my phone's gonna die. I have a little bit of time before the fireworks. I'm gonna ride Smuggler's Run, and when I rode it earlier in the day, I got the engineer because when you're a single rider, they just kind of fly you into the back. And being the engineer is the worst thing ever on that ride. And there was like these two women that were flying the ship, and I don't know how I've never seen it get as low as 13%, but that somehow happened. And I was like, literally, this is the worst thing ever. So I went up to the cast members and I was like, hey, if I just wait in the regular line, can I choose to be a pilot? And they're like, yeah, it's only a 5-minute wait. Like, it's probably walk on. Like, just go ahead and like they'll set you aside for it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I mosey my way over there. And then I was like, cast member, they're like, we need a party of 1. And I was like, I'm a party of 1, but can I wait? And then they're like, yeah, cool, just stand over here. So they send the next group in, and then they're like, okay, party of 1, like stand right here. And I was like, okay, cool, who's my co-pilot? And then he's like, okay, so your flight crew's gonna be gold. You're just gonna head through that door. And I was like, you forgot like 5 other people. And then they're like, no, go. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I literally
experience. Hello.
I know. I didn't even know that this was possible. So I went in, and like I'm just sitting there, just like kind of like browsing around because like there's no one with me. And then they're like, flight group gold, and it's just me. And then they're like, is there anybody else? I'm like, nope. And then they're like, have you ever done this before? And I was like, nope. And it was really cool. I literally got to fly the Millennium Falcon by myself, and I ended up with 80% health. So I did better with a one-man flight crew than I did with a cabin of 6 people with 2 people piloting. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah,
I'm gonna be a pilot, best in the galaxy.
Literally best in the galaxy. Pack it up, Han Solo. Pack it up, Harrison Dula. Pack it up, Poe Dameron.
Out of here.
Your guy is the new.
Telling Harrison Dula to pack it up is crazy work.
Not at all. But I was about to say, can she fly the Falcon by herself? But she probably could. But yeah, that's been me. So I'm maybe not doing the best progress on my watch through, but I have been enjoying it in other ways.
Cool.
Oh, that's so fun, though.
Hunter, what about you?
I've been slacking so much.
All right, Jacob, how about you? No.
Just
I
like
guess we've all
Logan.
been slacking. We have all been busy, so I mean,
my biggest piece of progress is I bought Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Finally.
$20.
Nice.
One of us.
Hasn't been played yet, but I have it, and it'll be played eventually
By next week, right?
I'm excited to play it.
That you will. Dude, it's such
a good
fun
game.
I played a
Honestly,
couple of hours
underrated.
on Xbox, and I really liked it. I was really liking the stealth when I would do that. On
I love the stealth.
Or not the Death Stars, the Imperial bases. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's
I'm excited to go into it.
Nice.
I'm excited.
I guess that leads
no one
back
else.
to
What's
me,
next?
I suppose.
Back to you, Jacob.
But I guess just to take it off, I moved. I am finally in the new place. Everything's completely settled in. We're good to go. And what's awesome is that whenever I was putting my Star Wars room together, you guys already know this, but for people listening, one thing that I wanted in my room, I was like, man, I've got everything that just means a lot to me in the room. What else can I get in the room? And we had all taken a group picture, I think, after one of the first episodes of the podcast.
I knew you were
And
going to
I had it saved on my phone, and I printed it off and got it framed in my room. So literally, I'm looking over to my left right now, and I can just see the picture of all of us after recording like one of the first episodes of the podcast. So
when we thought that we would do
Hunter
videos,
got
this
Mike
is
start
it.
a new season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not in that picture, so it doesn't count as all of us.
I'm gonna try to post a picture of it on the screen now.
You should try and edit me
hopefully
back in.
people will get what happened. Basically, Hunter got cropped out by accident, but
Yeah, Mike
he's
Wazowski.
holding up an action figure of Hunter from the Bad Batch.
So
it kind of
technically,
works out because he's
Hunter is
still
still
in there.
in
You
the
know,
picture.
it's just not
The right
the
one.
one that's on the comms right now. You know, but I guess just that's my way of saying I love recording this podcast with you guys.
Aw.
It's so much fun. I'm so glad we're back for season 2 and that everything with all of us is not as hectic anymore to where we can get together again and do this.
Yeah.
Because it is just so much fun. In terms of what I've been engaging with in Star Wars and how I've been staying on target, it can really be summed up in 3 words.
No.
Billions must
read.
If
Billions
to anyone
must
that,
read.
that follows me on
You
Twitter,
didn't say
or I guess
I
to
was
anybody
going
that to anybody that doesn't follow me on Twitter and hasn't already seen what's been going on, I have been going insane with buying books lately. I've been getting some really amazing deals on used books, which it just kind of fell in my lap, and I didn't expect it to happen, but I was like, well, I'm not going to pass this up. And I have read so many canon books. I literally have about 8 canon books left until I can say I've read the entire canon. And that's including Trials of the
crazy.
Jedi,
Wow.
which came out today at the time of us recording this episode. And so far, it's out of this world. It's amazing. It's so far a really great end to the High Republic, and I'm excited and terrified to see how it ends as I continue to go through the book because I'm about halfway done with it. But I have about 8 canon books left, and I've actually been collecting Legends books now. So that's really where a lot of my purchases have gone because there's so many Legends books. And I found something out that was kind of cool through my friend Dan, Star Wars Centralized. If you're listening to this, shout out to Dan. If not, go check out Dan's channel. I'll link it down below.
Woohoo, we love Dan.
But what's really cool is that a lot of these hardcover Legends books were actually exclusives through something called the Science Fiction Book Club. So if you were like a member of the Science Fiction Book Club for many, many years, like decades ago, it's not a thing anymore. But if you were a member and you paid monthly or like however you did it, they would send you an exclusive hardcover book in the mail. And they did a lot of like stuff for Star Wars. So the problem is that a lot of really cool hardcover versions of specific Legends books and specific Expanded Universe books were distributed through them, but it made it so exclusive to where now they're a little bit harder to find. So some of the books, unless you find like a really good deal, they jack up the prices big time because they're so exclusive and rare. To where like I've seen some books that are like $180 just for one book.
That's
And it's
insane.
crazy.
For a book?
Now I have not spent money like that. I don't have the funds to do that. But in terms of getting used books and trying to track down collections and stuff, it's really cool because I have a lot of the Bantam era of Star Wars, which is a very early era, perhaps even the earliest of Star Wars publishing. I believe it is. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments because I'm sure people will. And then I've also gotten some of the Essential Legends books that have been re-released, and they have like the really cool cover art now, which is awesome. I just got Revan and Kenobi to add to the collection the other day. I also have all of the new Jedi Order books coming in the mail, and I just got all of the Legacy of the Force books. I'm waiting on all of the Fate of the Jedi books, which are 9 books. I have so many books coming in the mail.
You
if
are,
I
it's
can
not
put
billions
photos on the
must read. It's
screen.
must read billions.
Yeah.
You know what, Logan? I think that's how Yoda says it. And Yoda's
Yes.
still correct when he says it that
Yeah.
way. But dude, it's been crazy. I've just been going through books left and right. I don't even remember what book I was reading whenever we recorded the last podcast episode, but yeah, no, I'm in like the sequel era now, which is wild to say because
Wow.
I've just like I remember when I started this back in like last December, it felt like so much and now here we are, but it's been such a fun journey. I'm so excited to keep reading these books, and I'm hoping by the end of the week next week that I'll be caught up fully with canon so
That'll
that
be
I can
insane
start
to hear
jumping into
about.
That
Legends.
is insane.
Yeah.
Which
The one,
I think
the
that would be so
unemployed
much
friend
fun.
on a
So.
Thursday afternoon.
Oh man,
That was really
it's
good.
summer. What can I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's where I'm at right now with staying on target. But
Really good.
this leads us to our next fun, exciting segment that is actually very new, and it's something that we'd kind of discussed for a while, and I thought it would be really cool. So we are going to be taking fan questions now every podcast and answering some questions that you guys send in. Brayden, who is a community manager at Lightspeed for our Discord, had this to say. So he's our first ever fan question. So Brayden, I'm going to turn on the hologram and let you take it away.
Admiral, receiving transmission from Scarif.
Hey, that's just Crait podcast. It's your friend Brayden from the Lightspeed Discord. The question that I have for you guys is, say you're a bounty hunter and you've been hired by Jabba the Hutt to get his son back from the Separatists, and you can only pick one other bounty hunter from anything in lore to accompany you on this mission. Who do you choose and why? Love the pod, love you guys. I can't wait to hear your responses.
Before we answer this question, because it is a really good question, I will say that if you have a question that you would like us to potentially answer and talk about on a future episode of the podcast, we just made a new Twitter account for the podcast called @JustCraitPod.
Yay!
So you can follow us there. Link will be down in the description down below.
And you can also probably find it on all of our Twitter bios as well.
If you have a question for us, you can tweet that account and tweet your question to us with the hashtag #FeelingCrait. Get it? I thought that was clever. I thought it was fun.
So
But
funny.
amazing question, Brayden. Thank you for kicking off this segment for us. Man, what a good question, though. Who would I take
Great question.
with me if I was
I
a
know
bounty
my
hunter to
answer.
rescue
I
Robin
don't,
Hood?
because I didn't really think about it all day.
I'm not
Go to me
going to
last.
think about it, but Hannah, if you're locked in, I'm going to let you take it away.
Locked in. So if I were to rescue Stinky, as we know him,
Hashtag save Stinky.
So true.
thank you, Ahsoka Tano, for that. In the spirit of reading Dark Disciple, I would want Bounty Hunter Ventress with me because there is no task that she cannot do. Hello?
Didn't she try to steal him in the Clone Wars
Wait.
movie and fail?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
that's one task you can do.
All right.
know-
Well,
But she
You've come
has
a long way by
experience,
this
Logan.
point.
That's the important thing.
If I had this Ventress with me, I'd be unstoppable.
that's a
Oh,
good
That's
one.
a good one. Hunter, do you have one?
I do. It's Imbo.
That was
Ooh,
really
that's
good.
a good one.
Ah, man, you
Because
took
the-
mine.
I think that's
The
who
cool
Dave
hat.
Filoni might pick.
The cool hat. He's
Yeah.
cool. He has a cool hat.
Dave Filoni
Jacob,
hat.
what about you?
Ooh, who am I taking? So I wanted, like, the first one that popped in my head was like 4-Alarm or something crazy, like a deep cut. But I'm going to go even deeper. I'm going to go with the Glup Shido. The guy from that episode of the Clone Wars, which is like one of my favorites, it's called The Box, where like all of the bounty hunters are in the box
Oh, yeah,
together.
Love
Like
that
the training
episode.
one that also kills them. The guy who like floats and he has like the mushroom type
Oh
head.
yeah, the weirdo.
Oh,
I'm taking him.
Tentacles.
I want him with me.
That's a good
That
one.
was a
He's
little
not, I'm
deep
not
cut.
going to
That was
understand a
good.
single word that he's saying, and he's not going to understand a single word that I'm saying. So I think for comedic effect, it would be really fun to have him with me, trying to rescue a little booger creature, you know?
Yeah.
I love
that's
it.
Good.
I thought you were gonna say Zuckus.
Yeah.
some
Zuckus
reason.
would go hard.
You're like, I'm gonna do a really
would be
deep
a
cut.
good
I'm gonna
one.
say Bosk.
Boss could probably track him down because Rato's so stinky, you know?
Yeah. Who would? Oh, I know.
What about you, Logan?
I have two answers. One of them was a joke. I would take Lego Rebuild the Galaxy Bounty Hunter C-3PO with me, with the black arm and the red eyes. I just think that he would be a great addition to this cast of people.
But it would have
no.
to be you as your Lego version.
It'd be me with my Lego figure and also Lego Bounty Hunter C-3PO with the black arm and the red eyes.
I love it.
Real answer though, you got to go with the goat. Like, as much as I don't really care for the character, you have to go with the goat of kidnapping children, and that is Cad Bane.
Oh,
I'm surprised that nobody got that's
You're
literally
so right.
that is literally his whole thing is kidnapping. I assume that we're doing this with babies, right? Like Baby Rod of the Hut, not
yeah.
Not like Gladiator, Rod of the
Name is
Hut.
Pinky.
Not Jeremy Allen White.
not Jeremy Allen White the Hut.
Jeremy Allen White.
No, I think if it's Cad Bane, he's probably the only one who can reasonably get it done because he has the resume to show for it. And the lack of moral compass. I think he would kill me before the end of it, though. I think I would just annoy him so much. I think he would kill me before the ship enters the Tatooine system. Or Teth, wherever the heck he is at this point. But yeah, I'm going to go with Cad Bane.
Nice.
Who did you guys pick in
like
the comments? Let us know. And also let us know your questions that you have. And if you have any, tweet it at us at JustCratePod. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's
At
the one. You got it right.
Or you can find it
too.
on my Twitter bio as well, and probably the others. How was that for a segue? Huh? That was good.
That was
Segue,
a
very good.
perfect segue.
Thank you.
Which,
I would
honestly,
say
perfectly-
it's the best segue this episode.
Oh, thank you, Hunter. You're too kind. And speaking of
I'm going
being
to
too
pretend
kind,
that one didn't sting on the inside a little
speaking
bit,
about things that
but
are
it's
too
fine.
kind, let's talk about what's new for the week in Star Wars. Jacob, what have you got for us?
Yeah.
What's new?
So that leads us into another segment. Thank you, Logan. So we're going to have a new segment for the podcast where we talk about Star Wars News Weekly. I feel like every single week that we record, we have something new to talk about that Star Wars is either posted online or something new has been released. Sometimes it's a slow week, of course, but knowing our luck, we typically just have a lot to talk about. So we'll just kind of hit these one at a time as I say them after I'm done saying all of them. The first thing for Star Wars news this week is that Trials of the Jedi, the final High Republic novel, has come out today at the time of recording this video. The original Star Wars cut has been screened for the first time, I believe, in decades. There's a lot to say there, whether it's ethical or not to even show that version of the movie, considering that George Lucas feels like it's an inferior version of the movie. And finally, speaking of controversial things, Andor has come to an end. We all loved it. But Tony Gilroy has been very vocal lately about retcons, especially with K2SO. And I kind of wanted to discuss, do we think they matter? Or is it okay to kind of retcon something like that? So just to kind of take it one by one, Trials of the Jedi, I know that I'm the resident, I feel pretty confident in saying this, the resident High Republic fan.
Yeah.
You are.
Of the friend group. I love it so
We'll
much.
get there eventually.
And being fully caught up with it, it has been so fulfilling reading this final book. Again, I think I said it earlier, but I'm about halfway through it, and Charles Soule just gets it, man. His
it's Charles
comics, his
Soule?
books, everything.
I didn't even realize that.
He's so good at writing Star Wars, and knowing that he started the High Republic all the way back in 2021 with Light of the Jedi, and now he's ending it with Trials of the Jedi, you can definitely feel like he's taking everything, not just from Phase 3, but from Phase 2, and even stuff from Phase 1, and just bringing it all together so beautifully and so masterfully that I really don't know how he's doing it. But I'm loving it so far. Again, no spoilers. I'm really not even in the position to give spoilers because I'm really only halfway through. But I will say that if it keeps up the momentum that it's going, then I think, I don't want to speak too soon, but I genuinely think it's going to be one of my favorite Star Wars books I think I've ever read.
Do you think it's because of how it is on its own,
with...
or because of everything else that's come before it with the High Republic stuff?
So this is what I would say. It's kind of like Rise of Skywalker and Avengers Endgame, to where, yes, you can watch them on their own, but you're going to enjoy them so much more, or get at least more out of it if you've seen the other things leading up to it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would just kind of put it that way. But as someone that has read everything, the books, the comics, I'm fully caught up. It is so fulfilling.
Spoiler alert, Vernestra Rowe lives.
No, I'm not done with the book
Take
yet.
that, people. She survives.
What's funny is that, like, even if you didn't know that, she's on the cover of The Acolyte Wayseeker,
Yeah.
which is the next book. So it's like, oh, well, I guess now you know that Vernestra is alive.
Yeah.
But I feel like anybody who's seen The Acolyte already knows that, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But to jump from
If
the
you
High
haven't,
Republic all the way
Go
to
watch
the...
the Acolyte.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not going to do much for you, but it's not going to do much for season 2, but it's good for you to watch it.
Absolutely. It's definitely worth watching. Even if you've heard bad things, I would say at least give it a chance. You know? But to jump from the High Republic all the way to the original trilogy, the original cut of Star Wars from 1977, the way it was released in theaters all those years ago, has finally been screened for the first time in many, many years. Kathleen Kennedy was in attendance, a lot of people there, and people have said that it looks terrible. Which,
been me.
I believe. But that raises a question that I've seen a lot on Twitter and just online in general, and I kind of want to pass the mic around on this one. Do you think it's okay for them to screen this version of A New Hope, considering that George Lucas feels like this version of the movie is inferior? I feel like it's a very touchy subject, but I kind of want to pass it around to Logan. I'm going to hand it to you first.
Personally, I could not give a gaff about whether or not they show it. I think that it is almost more important to have this version available.
Yes.
Because sort of erasing the like literal history of the film with like the special editions and like the special editions and the special editions. Like you're not like people will watch that stuff, and you know if you're showing A New Hope to someone and especially A New Hope, because that one is like changed the heck out of.
Hello.
Yeah. So especially in like Mos Eisley and stuff like that, showing it to someone for the first time is really jarring for them. And like the Jabba the Hutt scene, cannot tell you how much I hate that part in the special editions. I don't care how many times they've like redone it. It should not exist. It is redundant. They are just saying the same thing that Greedo said to him literally in the previous scene. So I would give anything to be in that room where it was screened. Star Wars, if you're listening, and we know that you are, my Tuesdays are open. Let me know. But seriously, I just really would like to see the original version of Star Wars because I never have before. So I'd like to track down even like a VHS tape, something like. I think that's what I want for a graduation present. So
Ooh,
that'll be my thing. That's my take. Is that I do not care if it's shown or not. I want it to be shown more. It should have been me.
I personally would like to see it because it was kind of like, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. And I know it's not like the finished primed version that George wants out there, but I feel like I could watch that and understand that and still like take it for what it is, you know? Plus the original trilogy is my favorite, so I want to see it really bad.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hunter, do you have any feelings?
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys pretty much said everything I was gonna say. I'm pretty indifferent on it. I get that George wants to like preserve his vision, but yeah, like Logan said, I think it's an important piece of film history.
Absolutely,
because they quite literally changed the game, you know.
Yeah.
So at least,
and also,
if you're not going to show it, I think they need to at least like restore it and preserve it somewhere.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like in a vault.
And the fact
something like that.
The special editions are still available. Like that can still be your definitive version, but you can still you can, you know, not to tangent. You can play the remake of The Last of Us and still play the original on the PS3, you know, and like it's not like they just like deleted it off the face of the earth. Like, you know, those Yeah. I think that's
I mean, I also thought that way before.
I think
you're so right.
I think Disney is kind of silly to not restore the theatrical editions and release them on like a 4K Blu-ray
I
because they would make
agree.
money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They would make money with that.
They absolutely would.
So
They should
I feel
remaster the prequels. That's my hot take. I would love to see.
What's funny about
remastered
that,
prequel
you say
trilogy.
that as a joke, but like Phantom Menace, the theatrical cut of Phantom Menace, you can't find anywhere.
I was
Exactly.
It's
gonna
not
say,
readily available.
I
have
need
it.
that so
I have
bad
it.
because it was
I
shot
have
on
it, actually.
film.
I have it. You can't say you can't find it anywhere because it's at my grandma's house. I have it.
Do you really?
Is it on
I do.
VHS?
They do have
Grandma Locked
VHS
Out.
still.
The VHS is still not the theatrical copy, believe it or not.
Oh,
What?
get
Yeah.
Because
Kate.
it was in film.
There's like different scenes from like the pod race that have been added in throughout the years, and like different like cuts and stuff like that. It's crazy. It goes really deep.
That's also one thing about Star Wars that I think is a little unique compared to like other franchises and stuff. Is there's so many different small little cuts of scenes like that in
Yeah.
different versions of the movies, and I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of movies like don't really have that.
It's such a weird problem that Star Wars has.
Right? But I love it. Like it's just
Did you see
so Star Wars.
Did you see that tweet where someone said the McClunky was like Greedo's secret daughter? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
And, he's yelling her name as like a last ditch effort to like
Oh
reason
my
with
God.
Han, and him still shooting is like I don't know. I love Twitter. What about you, Jacob?
I
How do
will
you feel?
say that. So I will say that it's kind of a double-edged sword for me, because I'm always going to side with the filmmaker. On one end, I fully support George. You know, it's his movie. He can do whatever he wants to. I might not like it. You guys might not like it. Everybody might hate it, but he's still going to do it, and he still has a right to do it because it's his movie. You know? So, on one hand, I'm like, you know, of course I want to side with George and be there, but I feel like this case specifically, Star Wars changed the game like Logan said, like Hannah said, like Hunter said, and I'm going to say it again, it truly did change the game, that original 1977 version, and I feel like culturally it's something that needs to be at the very least, like Hunter said, preserved. Even if you don't show it, but like once in a blue moon, as long as you clean it up and restore it, or at least have it preserved and it's not damaged or anything, I think that's great. So the problem is that I feel like this is a very interesting scenario just to kind of look at and discuss. Because, again, it's about respecting the filmmaker, but also, like, the film itself is so intertwined with American culture and American cinema that it's like, it's so influential that like it creates this really interesting discussion. And so I feel like, again, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Would I love to see it? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Even if it is just like a really dirty, terrible looking print, even just being able to say that you saw it is astounding. Especially in 2025, all these years later, all these decades later, almost 50 years later, which is crazy to say. But again, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Kind of in the same way that I'm 50-50 on the next thing that we're going to be discussing. So, Tony Gilroy, again, with Andor, has retconned a previous comic that was written around the time that Rogue One was coming out of how Cassian and K2 met. And it's caused for a lot of discussion online about, is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it proving that there is tiers of canon? I'm going to pass the mic to Hannah first on this one. Hannah, I don't know if you have any feelings about it, and you can feel free to pass the mic to Logan if you want to. It's entirely up to you, but I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on this.
The K2 thing, for example, I personally don't care that much about. But I also think it's funny that this discourse is going around at the same time that all these videos of Dave Filoni are being posted.
Yeah.
But there's one of the clips where it's talking about him retconning this one Jedi's death. I can't remember his name. Do y'all remember his name?
Nope.
Is it
I can
Egan
see his
Kular? Eth Koth?
Oh, it's probably Eth Koth.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's
Yeah.
good cough.
He was talking about retconning his death and bringing him back into Clone Wars, and like the way he was talking about it was just so funny. But it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like that level to me where like stuff matters, but when it's not that big of a deal, then like,
Yeah. So you agree that there are like that there not necessarily should be, but that there is like tiers to canon and like,
Yeah.
not like tiers to canon, but like if if it happens, it happens.
Right.
Like how would
Yes.
how was like Tales of the Jedi for you with like the whole Ahsoka thing?
I'm not gonna lie, that one kind of hurts
Yeah.
because
See,
the book.
I don't really feel like that one is a retcon in a lot of ways.
I try to see it not as like I feel like it can still kind of be up in the air as maybe a separate story, but it does have its similarities, so it just kind of bothers me. But then I also keep telling myself, I think I've said this in a podcast episode before. They call it Tales of the Jedi. I
Right.
tell myself that is a story that goes around about Ahsoka that people tell each other, like little kids that like tell each other tales of the
Interesting.
Jedi, because it's not really what happened. Go read the Ahsoka novel. Ahsoka
Yeah.
novel is canon, and if it ever becomes not canon, I will be in Lucasfilm's walls.
Well, just give it time. We're still
Logan,
gonna
what about
Ahsoka
you?
season 2. It's an interesting thing, and listen, I think it's one of those things where I don't mind a retcon if it's better for the story.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
that does make sense.
Like K2SO's origin story, I read a little bit on it. Wasn't the biggest fan, but I think tying it into the Gorman massacre is just a better way to do it, and it was very natural, I think. And if it's one of those things like how the visual encyclopedia for like Star Wars, like it said that Cassian Andor was from Fest, and then now they made it so that Fest was actually his cover, and then he's actually from Canary.
Right.
You could
It's
like I've seen
small.
people totally do that where they're like, oh, the story of how they met in the comic is just like what they tell people, not that he was at the Gorman massacre, because maybe that makes him not as good. So like sure, but then you have stuff like, in my opinion, probably the worst like blatant retcon, which is Kanan or Caleb Doom showing up in the Bad Batch, where he had his whole Order 66 scene in his like an entire comic line around it. So stuff like that, I'm like, it's just I feel like it's a different thing. Like we have where there's like differences in canon. Like obviously the Rebels speech that Mon Mothma gives, that they watch in Rebels, is not the same one as the one that she gives in the Senate, which I feel like it should be because it's basically saying the same thing. But like that's one of those things where you could say that the version in Rebels is just the Rebels friendly version of it. It's like there's like minor things here and there. So I don't really mind as much as long as you still give credit where credit is due with these stories. I feel like that's where Gilroy is a little bit like some flags are raised there, because he is just basically saying that he doesn't need to adhere to those, and I think that that's a little iffy because people do still work on these things, and they still put in a lot of hard work and effort, and they should still be respected to some capacity, even if you are ultimate. So that's where I went on that.
I think that was well put.
I
Better than I could have
you.
said it.
Yeah.
ditto, because I don't want to reiterate too much of what you just said.
Yeah.
And I pretty much agree with all of it, to where if it's something that benefits the story and it's very small and it's kind of inconsequential, then sure, that's fine. But I feel like, again, I hate that there are sometimes tiers with canon, especially as someone that has read so many books. I can imagine that when something like this happens, it's incredibly frustrating for somebody that did read that Rogue One comic from many, many years ago. But Star Wars has that way around it of being like from a certain point of view, like Logan said, to where one thing can be written and then, oh, that's actually a cover up. This is how they actually do it, to where it doesn't negate the original story, but at the same time, it kind of adds to it, I feel like, in a way. So I feel like in instances like that, it's perfectly fine. Now, if it's something huge and it's very well known by everybody and it's just fundamentally changed, that raises flags. I don't think that's ever really, really, really happened, to an extent. But, I think in this instance, I'm totally fine with it, And I think that everything that Logan just said, I'm kind of right there with you.
I mean, I think there's ways to do it, ways to go around it. You know, these people are creative; they can think of creative ways.
Yeah.
I think my favorite instance of someone changing the canon to fit, or changing something in the past to fit the current canon is when J.R. Tolkien was writing Lord of the Rings, he kind of forgot about the Hobbit and what Bilbo said in the Hobbit, and he basically said, like in Lord of the Rings, like, "Oh yeah, Bilbo's just a liar."
Oh,
So because he just forgot.
like he realized
So
like
I
while he
think
was
that-
writing Lord of the Rings that he was like, oh wait,
That's so funny.
I forgot about Bilbo. Yeah, I think there's ways to go about it that, you know, I'm kind of indifferent on a lot of it. Like unless, like you said, it's something like really big. The Cassie and K2 thing, to be honest, I didn't know that comic even existed until a couple weeks ago.
Me either.
right.
So I'm not like losing sleep over it.
I only knew of it because we knew that we were getting K2 in Andor, and people were like, I wonder if they're gonna do this, and I was like, probably not. You know, like that was as far as like my
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
research went into that, but like me caring necessarily. But again, it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, respect the material at least.
Like unless they
in
go
interviews.
back and say like, oh, Darth Vader was actually Luke's roommate's brother, kind of thing like that. Then
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get a little upset. But you know, as long as it's nothing like huge, I
Mhm.
probably won't get upset.
Honestly, I think that kind of rounds us out for the day for everything that we were going to talk about. So to everybody that's watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify, it feels so good to say that again finally. Thank you so much for watching and listening. The one thing that we do all collectively agree on that we want to add to the podcast for future episodes is video. Due to a few things here and there, we haven't been able to get it just yet. But I hope that the new layout for the podcast, at least right now, for us to not have cameras has been fun to kind of watch. I did work really hard on this one, or I know that I will, because I have a lot of stuff to edit, I feel like. But that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I know that we all do. Again, you can follow us on Twitter. All of our links are in the description down below. And the That's Just Crait Twitter is at Just Crait Pod. So make sure to follow us there as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. For Light and Life, dap us up through the Force.
Yeah, he remembered.
And until next time, may the Force be with you.